I opened up my email, that box inside my computer box, inside my room box, inside my society box. Yeah, and I saw this mysterious message entitled Unveiling the Quantum World of Healing with leading expert Tom Paladino. I was like, whoa, calm down. Woo, breathe. Should I open it? And I did, and I responded, did a little of this, a little bit of that, and we got Tommy Boy, on the show with us today to talk about his machine that he has built, which connects up with heaven, which is also in the stars, and he can funnel that energy into your body and mind and heal you via your photograph. You heard that right. Whoa, how convenient is this? This is amazing. I don't know why doctors and scientists aren't talking about this. Perhaps because it's not scientifically proven. I'm not saying it's not right, but this is a whole new viewpoint. I was scared to even enter this. I didn't know if I would be able to navigate these waters. But I decided it might be fun, it might be interesting, I might learn something, and it was all of the above. So, yeah, listen in with an open mind. This might be true. We never know. It might be true, and elements of it certainly are. I mean, Tom talks about a lot of beautiful things, but also enter this with skepticism. Question it. Don't just believe everything Tom says. No offense, Tom. Love you, but yeah, this might sound like quackery. It might sound like some snake oil or something like that. Some kind of late night infomercial in 1998. Yeah, might be one of those. If you're not enjoying it, just turn the channel, turn it off. Don't unsubscribe. Oh, please not. Maybe you love it. Dude, if you love it, dive deeper. He's got a bunch of interviews. He has a 15-day free trial where basically you can teleport to his machine. And also, like, you can time travel. You can do lots of cool things. It might even make you immortal. You know, if you sign up for the premium service. I don't know what all is offered, but yeah, pretty cool stuff. Definitely something new. Definitely smells more of religion than science, more of fiction than reality, but that might just be my biased, rational, logical, scientific, philosophical mind. Yeah, this definitely opened up new portals in my brain, for better or worse. I think Tom has great intentions, a great heart. He wants to help. He's a good guy. Just listen in and find the elements that feel true to you. Guaranteed, you will experience something new with this. So here we are. Here's my interview with quantum healer, master of the lightsaber, God's scalar light wielding prophet, Tom Paladino.
These are instruments, if you will, modeled after Tesla's instruments and another Hieronymus instrument developed by Galen Hieronymus. Tesla instruments, Hieronymus instruments. Now, what does that mean? It's not electricity. I don't work with electromagnetic current. It's the energy of the sun and the stars that I work with. So this is a new technique that I'm trying to introduce to the world with a new energy. It offers great promise.
What do you mean by new energy?
It's a new technology in which we can tap the free energy of the sun, the stars. We're not working with electricity. We're working with the energy of the stars. So it's a new spectrum of energy that's really unrecognized. It's a new branch of physics. This is not taught at the university level. It's a new branch of physics.
And they call this scalar energy, scalar light?
Scalar energy, what some people might call it 0-point energy or chi or prana. It has various names, but the name in vogue right now is scalar energy. It's another energy spectrum. There's actually two dimensions in the universe. You have an electromagnetic dimension and a scalar energy dimension.
Okay. What does it do?
Yeah. Just about anything. I can take this instrument and I work with it in the force field in which I can take, it's all energy, it's all a force field. I can take a photograph of a virus, place that photograph inside my instrument, and then my instrument would destroy Coxsackie B virus.
Oh, how does that work? Because it seems like to the normal person it looks like a picture, but
It
clearly there's something else, something more going on.
it is a magnified photograph of Coxsackie. The point is this: the instrument, the energy will interpret that molecular structure and break it down. So a scalar energy instrument can interpret a photograph and then send the energy of that photograph to break down the virus.
Okay, so I think we need to back up a little bit first. So we have this kind of other kind of energy that's it's outside of the electromagnetic spectrum. It's not
Yes,
radio waves. It's not gamma rays or anything like that. It's completely something outside of the whole
exactly.
electromagnetic spectrum. And this energy has sort of healing powers, and it could do all kinds of things. And
Yes,
you've made this machine that sort of harnesses or taps into that energy source.
that's
Almost sounds
correct.
like some kind of god healing energy or something. I don't know.
It is. It is, Michael. It is. It's the. I'm Catholic.
Yeah.
It is the energy, the light of God. If this is the energy that powers the stars, well, who powers the stars? It's God. It's the creator. This is the energy of the universe. You don't manufacture it by a wind turbine or by nuclear power or by coal or by any type of electrical grid. So I've tapped into this free energy spectrum. There's so much energy coming off the instrument, it can illuminate a light bulb in my hand.
Yeah. And this comes from the stars, but also kind of comes from God. It sounds like. Kind of tell me, like, where does this stuff come from?
God is the originator, God is the creator.
Okay.
But the star, this is the energy that also powers the stars. I've always asked
Mhm.
myself, how is it that the stars have light in abundance, and that light is for trillions of galaxies? Where do we get the light from? It has to come from God.
And then you made this machine. You found this machine. How the heck did you get that thing?
I've been at this for 50 years. So
Yeah.
this is a long history of research, not only my research, my predecessor, a man by the name of Hieronymus. And I've developed these instruments. I'll show you the instruments.
Huh.
Those are some of the instruments that I work with.
Yeah. It's all mysterious to me. And so what you do is you take people's pictures, right? And you work with photos of people, photos of diseases, of nutrients, of animals. Tell us about that.
That's correct. You and I are having a discussion now by StreamYard. You're not in my laboratory. Your image is in my laboratory. So I take photographs of people, their image, and
Uh-huh.
I place it inside the instrument.
Okay.
And that instrument now will allow a download of energy, scalar energy, a transmission of scalar energy into the photograph. The photograph is the person. I never treat people, I treat an aura, or I treat their, if you will, their non physical spirit. All of my work is non physical. So I don't work with people in person. I work with the photograph that has the energy signal or the energy signature of a person.
So I guess that explains because you're going to get a lot of criticisms. You've probably got like these haters saying, "Hey, this is not science. You're a quack. You're a this or that," you know. And but you're saying this is not about rationality or reason or science. It's something outside of that realm in the sort of more non-physical realm. So, could science even prove any of this? Is it even possible?
Well, my predecessor secured 3 patents, a US, Canadian, and a British patent for his instrument.
Okay.
So it is recognized in some circles. But this is so cutting edge, this is so new that it's going to take a while to introduce this concept to the world. It's a different energy. It's not electricity again. So this is not
Yeah.
taught by academia. So we all have to learn this from the ground floor up. It's a struggle, to be quite candid with you, Michael. It's a struggle.
Yeah. I mean, because yeah, how do you if what you have is true, this thing truly works, and you have these testimonials on your website, so it seems to work for whatever reason, whether we believe it or not, or we don't know why. But a lot of people are not willing to accept that. They're gonna get angry. They're gonna challenge you. How do you even how do you deal with that?
Human nature is what it is. I'm used to that.
Yeah.
If people
Yeah.
look at my website and they see thousands of testimonies, that should tell the story. Now, if somebody doesn't understand this, I don't fault them. You have to have this expertise.
Yeah.
I don't expect people to understand my private research. Nobody understands my private research. That's why it's still private. And nobody has duplicated these instruments, so nobody can duplicate my results. So those people are pretty gracious.
Yeah.
They'll say, Tom, I'll try your 15-day free session.
But it's also a bit like this energy you're tapping into is sort of this heavenly energy. I guess in Buddhism, and you're tapping into nirvana, or
Yes.
in Hinduism, you're tapping into Brahman or
Yes.
something. And in Christianity, it's Catholicism, it's
Yes.
it's heaven, it's God.
Yes.
So there are already a lot of people who are kind of like, oh no, I don't trust that. Science doesn't back that up. Reason tells me none of that exists. So it sort of does require a kind of a leap of faith to.
Yes, it does.
To jump into this new science, to even take the 15-day free trial, to give it a shot. How does someone take that leap? Because it's sort of scary, and a lot of people are like, if they're really science minded, for example, or they're really rational. What do you suggest we do to even give it a chance?
You have everybody on the spectrum. You have some people say, well, I can understand this because I've studied chi, prana, consciousness. This is a consciousness instrument. And others who just want to see something by way of a double-blind test, and other researchers. Well, there are no other researchers. Hence, there are no other double-blind tests. There are no peer-reviewed papers. There will not be peer-reviewed papers until somebody can accomplish what I've accomplished. So, at the end of the day, people say, well, I've read the testimonies, I'm going to try it. It's free. And that's how we
might as well.
That's how we interest people. Yeah, it's free.
Yeah, because there are we already know, but there's all kinds of ways of healing that we have no way of explaining. Like, how the heck does this happen? There's placebo effect, nocebo effect. There's all kinds of just miraculous healings of things. So this might just be one of those too. And maybe we can't explain it yet, but the machine works, or maybe it doesn't work. But we can try it, especially if we're have no other shots, nothing else.
Yeah, it's an introduction that I have to make to the world. Again, I'm the only researcher, so I have to be able to introduce this work one person at a time, one podcast at a time.
Yeah,
I am following in the steps of Hieronymus and Tesla. These two great men introduced free energy instruments to the world. But the people kept saying, where's the energy coming from? It pre-exists. How did you make the energy? We don't make the energy. God created it. And, the question goes on and on. And it really becomes almost an existential question. You're looking at the creation of the universe.
Yeah, I think it's just hard for people to take that leap, right?
Yeah. To
take that leap of faith is it's something a lot of people are just not willing to do. Yeah, this is like totally new stuff for me. So I wasn't even, I was like preparing for this podcast. I was like, how do I because I'm not a religious person myself. I do believe that there are sort of like things out there, and that the world is connected. I like the oneness aspect of all that, but I'm kind of coming from the science side of this, so I'm trying to wrap it in some other packaging that science might be able to explain it. And one of those wrappers is sort of the placebo effect. Is this kind of could it just be a placebo effect? People give you the picture, and they that sort of just does it.
Perhaps in some cases, yes.
Or is it a contradiction? Could it be a placebo effect and also this God energy? Or this contradictory even?
I think it's both. In many cases, I think it's both.
It is both.
Why? Because when you're thinking about a cure, or you want a cure, that's consciousness in and of itself.
Yeah.
So I don't exclude anything. As a scientist, I have to be open to all possibilities.
It's also this feeling of connection as well, because, for example, when people are reaching out to you, you have sort of this loving kind of service and loving way about you, and people think, wow, this guy's going to help me, and he's loving towards me, and he's caring for me, and he has this machine that's trying to help me, and so I'm going to send this thing out, and you feel like, wow, I'm not alone. I believe it. I have this hope. I have this love, and that kind of that positivity, that optimism
Yes.
itself might sort of bring out, like even on
Yes.
a neurochemical level, it's going to be releasing like serotonin and oxytocin and GABA and all this stuff. And maybe you don't care about the neurochemical side of it, but I think it's just the fact of like you being this sort of loving person trying to help, and then them reaching out, and that belief itself, the faith itself, might be healing, almost like a prayer or something, like a prayer or meditation might heal somebody, and the machine might work too.
Mm.
But I'm saying even without the machine, it's already there might be other healing powers in effect going in effect too.
Yes. And that's why I want people to try the 15-day free session. I want people to see the benefits to humanity. I really want to stay away from a strict business model. I
Yeah.
don't want this to appear to be like a bank or a commercial transaction. It's not. It's about helping people. Much of our work is pro bono. We work with people around the world free of charge. Why? The world needs it. The world's hurting. We have to help people.
Like what exactly? Okay, so I send you the picture. You put it in the machine or something, and then I like get perfectly better. Or like what does it? What does it heal? What does it change?
Everything in the universe has a signature. So let me explain.
Yeah.
Let's say I wanted to source out and bring to a state of confusion, eradicate Coxsackie B virus.
Yeah.
It's an enterovirus. I would place this photograph of Coxsackie B inside the instrument, side by side my photograph. So what's happening? There's a communication, there's a signature of Coxsackie sharing, communicating with my photograph. And in so doing, this instrument will take the energy, the signature of Coxsackie, find it in me and destroy Coxsackie. Reduce Coxsackie to a state of chaos. So everything I do is by way of a photograph. All of my sessions are light. So the light of Coxsackie is communicating with my light field. It's not a chemical process, it's light. And the new science says that everything has a signature, including Coxsackie. I can download that signature into me, find Coxsackie and destroy it. I can transmute a virus.
Okay.
Energetically, this is not a chemical process.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's the point? My photograph is me. My quantum field is found on that photograph. My consciousness, my chi or prana is found on that photograph. So I can be in two places at once. And that's what I like about my sessions. You don't come to a laboratory. You send your double. You send your bilocated version.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds convenient. It sounds convenient as a business model, but I know you've got that a lot. But what you're saying is it's not about that. It's that you have this sort of non-temporal, non-spatial, eternal self or something,
Yes.
and that's
Yes.
in that sun in the star heaven energy thing wherever it
Yes.
is. And maybe it's everywhere, whatever.
Yes.
But all across time, all across space,
Very good.
just like God is, I guess.
Yes.
And so it doesn't matter if that picture's old or it's somehow from the future. You have some future
Right.
photograph of you, and it all kind of connects into a single
That's
network of information. And if you tap into that network
yes.
or something, it like lights it all up and it starts doing things. Is that kind of, like it's like
Yes.
okay,
Exactly. It's non-temporal. We transcend time and space. Scalar energy transcends time and space. This is no longer an electromagnetic environment. It's a scalar energy environment in which I can access anybody, their quantum field through their photograph, because the photograph, the age of the photograph doesn't matter. It's still my present signature. Scalar energy only works in the present moment.
how accurate does a picture have to be? I mean, what if it's like a little blurry or it's black and white? Or nowadays we've got filters and AI generating images and all kinds of stuff going on. So what are what's the criteria for the machine to be able to properly read the picture?
As long as the photograph is a real photograph of a person, it can't be computer generated. So as long as some part of your skin,
I mean, like, do some pictures not work? For example, like if I put some weird filter on it, or like AI kind of like change something?
We have to capture, we have to photograph your skin. That's
The
how
skin.
the instrument will work.
Do you have to? Does a person have to know they're doing it, or can you just do it anyway?
Many times we'll work with dogs or cats. People will send in photographs of their dogs or cats, and obviously their dogs or cats are
Okay.
not aware that they're being treated. So what's the point? We always tell people, do you get somebody's permission? But at the end of the day, I usually have family photographs. I
Yeah.
usually have actually thousands of photographs sometimes in one day sent to me. So you're right. This is healing of the world. This
Hmm.
is what I envision. This instrument can easily work with 1 million, 2 million photographs a day.
Yeah.
Once the world catches on to this, and once the world sees just how simple this is going to change society. It will change the world.
Yeah.
Free energy will change the world.
Yeah.
Free energy is a concept that we've longed for.
Yeah, that's great because healing people. People are happier and feeling better, living longer, maybe living forever, perhaps even. Um, yeah, that's great. But if we just want to heal the world, I mean, couldn't we like just get? I know you don't have all the computers for it or whatever, but what if we just like downloaded the entire internet of photos, like Instagram and TikTok, just got freaking loaded into your machine? Could we would the world just become heaven or something? I don't know. I'm trying to imagine it seems like an efficient way would be like just load up all the photos like of everybody in the world. And I don't know what that would do. That'd be like some weird butterfly effects going on. I don't know if that's even good or not. But could that be possible like in the future? Because now we got AI and stuff and all this stuff, is it possible to sort of just dump the whole internet of images in?
Yeah, we could easily upload photographs from databases as you're speaking. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So, what about these new technologies coming out, like augmented reality, virtual reality? We're entering a new realm of not just pictures, but 3D avatars and AI to generate like fake images and stuff. Is that gonna could that cause any problems with this?
This instrument will recognize anything on a photograph. It
Mm-hmm.
not only recognizes me by my skin, but it recognizes my shirt and it recognizes the plants in the background. So what's the point? Anything photographed will be treated. Now,
Okay.
if you want to have a successful treatment for a person, some part of the skin must be photographed. It cannot be a computer graphic.
Yeah.
So the instrument does what I tell it to do. We're working with light. Light never makes a mistake. Light is fundamental.
When you on the brain, for example, what would be happening is you can like say totally rewire their brain and change these neural circuits. It's like a neuroplasticity kind of machine you got going on there too, perhaps. What can this do for people with mental health problems, for example, or they have, for example, past trauma, they have ADHD, bipolar disorder? Can it do like sort of permanent kind of rewirings, changing these neural circuits in the brain? Is that possible?
Yes. If we look at scalar energy is responsible for all cognitive behavior, for all cognitive action. So many people say that this instrument will serve to help them with traumatic brain injuries. Some people say it helps them with depression. Others say that their phobias are lifted. They're no longer afraid of a certain event or
Uh
some
huh.
type of situation. Others tell me that they've been able to overcome alcohol or drug addiction. Now, all of that speaks to the fact that scalar energy is instructive, that this is divine energy.
Huh.
And if this divine energy is downloading, is being imparted upon soul, mind, and body, that
Hmm.
this energy seems to be able to correct drug addiction. It seems to be able to correct depression for many people, not everybody. So understand that my work is groundbreaking. The instrument, I'm going to once again show the instrument. This instrument is a custom built instrument. Now, my
Yeah.
work has not been duplicated. Why? Nobody has duplicated my work. So I'm trying to introduce to the world what I have accomplished. I don't expect people to understand it from the start. It takes time
Mm.
They, I don't expect people to have a working knowledge day one with this.
It's so new. It's new technology.
It is new technology, but my results are stellar. I'm gonna hold up a PCR test result.
It's a new way of thinking as well. So it's really hard for people to think about this with language. Even it's a whole new way of being.
You're right. It requires a new language. So you see what I'm up against. I'm up against not only
Yeah.
introducing this concept, but I have to develop a language or not only working knowledge, but some type of dialogue that we can have
Mm.
using terms that are now accepted. If I, if I say scalar energy, nobody knows what that means. So I have to define that. That's the energy of the sun and the stars. So without equivocation, I have to start at ground zero.
Yeah.
I have to start from scratch.
Because language has evolved. Language has evolved with science and technology and this rationality and all these things. So
That's why I offer everybody 15 days of
yeah,
free sessions.
it's hard to even talk about it, right? Yeah.
The only way I can introduce this is by way of experience. People have to experience this energy. If they experience the free sessions,
It's an experiential thing, right?
then they'll believe. Many people say that they feel much better after they submit their photograph. Why? Well, they feel better because it works.
Yeah.
It's that simple. It works.
It's like we usually think of the electricity in the brain as these brain waves you can measure in hertz, these beta and delta and alpha and gamma waves and stuff. And these are like in actually clear hertz. It's clearly in the electromagnetic spectrum. And normally when we change the electricity in the brain, it's within that it's electricity. But you're saying there's this kind of God healing scalar whatever chi, there's all kinds of names for it, energy can kind of enter us into this physical body and change this physical brain and body of ours.
Why? The initial energy of the universe is scalar energy. Electricity and magnetism are the secondary or the offshoot, or if you will, the derivative of scalar energy. So scalar energy is the cause of all phenomenon. The instructions of the universe are scalar energy, not electricity. So electricity and magnetism have a subdued role. They have, if you will, a subordinate role in the universe. So what I've discovered is the prime mover is scalar energy, not electricity. And with this instrument, I have control over that dimension of scalar energy. Far exceeds the ability of electricity.
Is this what consciousness is?
Yes,
Is consciousness related to this?
exactly. This is consciousness. This is chi. This is prana. This is what I have. I have an instrument that controls that non-physical essence, consciousness. Some people call that 0 point energy, Christ consciousness, prana. So there are two energy systems. Electricity is quite inferior to consciousness. Consciousness transcends time and space. As you pointed out earlier, this is non-temporal. That's why I can work with a photograph of a person, regardless of the time, the photograph, the date of the photograph, regardless of where the person is situated, located. This instrument of consciousness will find the force field of the person no matter where they live.
So technically, if you completely um, healed everything in somebody, they could live forever. We can all like live forever. Is that a thing going on with it?
Yes, that's a good point. So to illustrate, there are many pyramids that we see around the world, and sometimes we see that if an animal ventures into a pyramid and dies in a pyramid, that animal, their chemical decay is curtailed, is halted. Why? In a scalar energy environment, you do not have degradation. You don't have chemical decay. Probably free radical damage is greatly reduced. Meaning what? In a scalar energy, a perfect scalar energy environment, you should be immortal. There should not be any aging. There should not be any free radical damage. So this is where we're going. We're going to prolong life, because we're going to slow down aging. How do we do that? We reduce free radical damage. We change the metabolic processes. We're going to be able to extend life.
But in that scalar energy world, it sounds like there's no space, there's no time, but there's also no. Is there change? Does change even occur there, or is it like this single oneness of like it's kind of hard to imagine what is going on in that place.
Exactly. It's perfect homeostasis. There is no change. And that's why you're immortal. If you're alive,
But isn't that boring? It's kind of boring because if you're the whole all the meaning of life is kind of like we're ups and downs and stories and changing and death and pain and suffering. But like it's nice to be like, but it feels almost like death or something to me. But you've got a better understanding, so you can explain because you've been doing this for many years, so you can explain to me why it's not a boring or death-like state.
no, it's an exalted state, and it far exceeds human
Okay.
understanding. It far exceeds our human experience. The heavenly realm, you're in another dimension, and you're much happier. You're much smarter. You're much more aware, and it's life is magnified 10,000 fold. So frankly, this world is boring compared to the heavenly realm. So let's step up to the non-physical spiritual realm, scalar energy realm. This is the realm of heaven. I firmly believe there is a heaven, and scalar energy is the animating force of heaven. There's no electricity in heaven because electricity is entropy. You'll die in a electromagnetic spectrum. So heaven cannot be an electromagnetic spectrum.
So is electricity to blame for some of these modern mental health and
Yes.
physical health problems?
Yes. 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 Yes.
Can you explain like in some particulars with that?
Well, there are certain hertz that are inimical to us. There are some type of frequencies that are harmful to psychological health, to biological health. This has been proven time and time again. So not electricity really is not a friendly energy. And in and of itself, the electromagnetic spectrum always experiences entropy. What's entropy? It's death of the system. It's the decay. It's the negation of the signal. Now, if we're electromagnetic beings and we're subject to entropy, then we're subject to death, we're subject to chemical degradation, we're subject to aging, we're subject to all these negative consequences. In heaven, there's only scalar energy. You cannot die. On Earth, there's electromagnetic energy. You will die.
Yeah. And so what you're doing is you're not taking us into heaven. You're just taking a little bit of heaven and kind of infusing it into us as sort of like a medicine. Is that what's going on?
Correct. And bringing it to Earth. I want to, in many ways, my ultimate goal is to return to the Garden of Eden, in which Adam and Eve had perfect scalar energy. That's why they were immortal. That's why they didn't have to work. They had dominion over nature.
Oh. I need to reread the Bible and stuff. It's been a while. You're saying how the pyramids are kind of like harnessing, or they're kind of. Are the pyramids kind of like your machine, and they're like grabbing the energy, and that's like Tesla's towers, or that I guess he didn't finish because J.P. Morgan kind of shut it down, right?
Correct.
But
correct.
It's the same stuff, the same kind of device.
Yes. So these Tesla towers, those Tesla coils, that's my miniature Tesla instrument. I don't have the money to build a 150-foot tower.
Yeah.
And I certainly won't take any financing from J.P. Morgan or his descendants or the Rothschilds. So what's the point? I have to reintroduce Tesla by my miniature Tesla instrument.
Yeah, that's a small tower, but I guess it's really powerful still.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Oh, but these days, you're saying, okay, this electromagnetic energy is bad, and I think certain wavelengths of it certainly are. But we also have a lot of researchers coming out these days, like Andrew Huberman and stuff, who's really talking about you got to get the sunlight, get the morning sunlight. That's really good for you. Is sunlight purely electromagnetic? Because it does seem to have some, yeah, of course, harmful properties to it, but also it does have some sort of ways to, set our circadian rhythm and help us in a lot of different ways, especially in the morning and the evening. How does sunlight tie into all of this?
So if we go back to the very quintessence, if you will, all energy initiates from the sun and the stars as scalar energy, and then it will break down in many environments to electromagnetic energy. So sunlight, when you walk out in the sun, you're enjoying both scalar energy and electromagnetic energy. The problem with scalar energy, it cannot be measured. Nobody's ever developed an instrument to measure scalar energy or consciousness. Electricity, electrical current, yeah, we can measure that, a watt, etc. We can measure the flow of current. There is no flow of consciousness that you can measure. So what's the point? We have to consider that there's two laws, electromagnetic and scalar, and that there's two outcomes and that there's two possibilities in this world. Electromagnetic reference and scalar reference. There's two laws, there's two dynamics at place.
Yeah.
So I've decided to work with scalar energy. It's the free energy of the sun and the stars. Whatever we accomplish today with electricity, we can replace electricity with scalar, and it will be much less expensive. You don't need a grid system with scalar energy. It has no pollutants. Everything is non-physical. It's consciousness. You cannot have pollution from consciousness. There's no greenhouse effect. So consciousness, scalar energy is the way to go. We should power the world with consciousness.
So if consciousness is this thing that is a scalar energy, but we experience consciousness, it seems to be coming from our head, but it's sort of in our body. Is it possible that maybe our brain itself or our something inside of us is like a Tesla tower? It is one of these machines?
Yes, it is.
Like inside of us?
Yes, our brain and our heart are Tesla instruments. Yes.
Wow.
The brain, what is a thought? A thought transcends time and space. You ever consider this, Michael? In order to have a thought cannot be placed in a box. A thought consciousness transcends time and space, correct? All right. I think we all agree on that. And hence you have to have a model for a thought to exist. You have to have some type of model in which thinking, creativity, feeling, emotion can exist. What is that paradigm? It's a paradigm that transcends time and space. So if you have thinking or feeling, the mind and the heart, you have to have a universe that accommodates that non-physical expression that transcends time and space. So you need a working system, a working model for thought, for feeling. What is that working model? It's a scalar energy realm.
It means we really need to take care of our brain too, because if we're if we're not taking care of our brain properly or our body properly, the machine, the tower gets busted up, right? So how do you sort of maintain the system? There's certain foods we should eat or sleep or anything like this that are that science does agree on, but also this scalar energy. I don't even know what to call it. Also agrees on that God agrees on. I guess is there something like how do we make our tower more like a pyramid, our brain more like a scalar instrument?
There you go. There you go. And you're doing it right now by positive thinking, by prayer, by meditation.
Okay.
Many people have seen that prayer, meditation, positive thinking produces miracles that cannot be explained, even miracle cures, or a change in attitude. How did that happen? It's scalar instructions. So all thinking is a function of scalar energy. Again, if a thought, thinking, creativity transcends time and space, thinking, thoughts, creativity are free. Nothing can impede, obstruct a thought, thinking. What is thinking? What is thought? It's consciousness. What is consciousness? Scalar energy. So now we see it's necessary.
And this energy travels between us, right?
In a scalar energy realm, everything is pre-connected.
Yeah.
There is no point A and point B. You're in Japan, I'm in the United States, in the electromagnetic spectrum. Mm-hmm. If you sent me your photograph and I placed your photograph inside this instrument, there would be an immediate connection. You would, if you will, time travel to my laboratory.
Whoa.
Because it's consciousness. There is no boundary with consciousness. This is a consciousness instrument. That's why even if this photograph is 3 years old,
Yeah.
it still reports who I am today.
Yeah.
It's my present state of being.
Uh-huh.
Why? Because consciousness does not recognize 3 years ago or 3,000 years ago. Consciousness is always in the present moment. This instrument is always accessing the present moment. Why? It's non-spatial, it's non-temporal, as you said, non-temporal.
Because that's all there is?
Yes, there's only one time frame in scalar,
Yeah.
which is every time frame. In other words, the past, the present, and the future is all consolidated till now, the present. Very good. You're getting it.
And this energy can travel between me, my brain, and your brain? Is it like bouncing around?
We're already pre-connected. Don't think of the electromagnetic spectrum in which Japan and the United States are separated.
So when you think a positive thought, or you give a loving,
it transcends time and space. It has to. So, and I'm not being facetious. Is there a speed limit to a thought? No. It's instantaneous.
So your thoughts affect my thoughts, and your energy.
Yes.
So who we spend time with matters a lot here.
Yes. Very good. Yes. Positive thinking works. Why? It's a scalar wave.
Yeah.
It's just like this instrument. It's a scalar emanation. Yes. You get it now. That's why I tap into scalar energy. I don't tap into electricity. There's two models. I'm not interested in the electromagnetic model. I'm only interested in the scalar model. It's a refined energy. It's far superior to electricity and magnetism.
You're going to make electromagnetism is going to cry. It's like, what? I'm beautiful. I'm rainbows. I'm all kinds of things. No, I'm kidding.
I want you to consider Nikola Tesla, and I want you to consider Tesla's invention. If you've seen his tower, Wardenclyffe, that's the tower in Long Island that he built. If you look closely at that tower, there's no moving parts. There's no electrical wires leading into the tower. There's no power plant in the near vicinity. What was he doing? It's a free energy tower. He was not relying upon a tower grid from New York City. He collected free energy from the sun and the stars. That was a free energy device.
Did it get completed? Did it actually start working? Because I from my understanding, I think J.P. Morgan shut it down in the middle of it. It just never really got going. But you're saying it did work?
It did work, but he didn't have the funds to promote it. He didn't have the funds to advance his work. For instance, Tesla was working in Colorado Springs. Tesla had a tower in Colorado Springs, and he was very successful in Colorado Springs with this free energy tower, to the point that Tesla was able to create lightning at this tower in Colorado Springs. Free lightning is what I'm getting at. Okay. So Tesla harnessed, he mastered scalar energy. All lightning bolts initiate as scalar energy.
When they hit people or they hit things, is that still scalar energy, or when does
that's a good point?
It looks like it's electromagnetic. I think you could probably measure it in electromagnetic ways, but it lightning is also scalar, or I'm confused a little bit. So it looks like electricity. I mean, you could see it and stuff, right? But I think you know more. So can you explain?
Yeah, not a problem. All lightning bolts, any lightning strike starts as a scalar wave. Lightning is always initiated as scalar, and then it downgrades into electricity and magnetism. This is why some people can be struck by lightning and they're not killed. Others are struck by lightning and it's already downgraded, it's already converted into electromagnetic energy, and they're electrocuted. So this is what we've discovered with scalar energy. And yes, Tesla did create scalar energy towers. Tesla had free energy towers. Tesla was about to change the world, but we didn't quite understand what Tesla was up to. Tesla, what a great man, what a great experience. We all owe Tesla just so much gratitude for what he introduced to mankind. Now we have to catch up to Tesla. Now we have to understand, what is Tesla trying to do? Why don't we revisit Tesla? That's the key. You know, this is what one of the things that Tesla envisioned. He did not want to work with a grid system anymore. If you look at Tesla Energy, there is no grid system. You don't need it.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe if we had scalar energy, we wouldn't have to have all these Wi-Fi problems, huh? We could just talk like normal people.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Could it power technology and everything? All our technology would be run by scalar electricity, and our cars and our would we eat it? Can you eat it? Like how do we eat and stuff?
Well, here's let me demonstrate.
You can eat it.
When I want vitamins, I take a photograph of a vitamin. This is vitamin E,
Yeah.
and I download the energy of vitamin E into me.
Oh.
So we're now in a new realm in which we can work with energy signals. This is vitamin E, a signal of vitamin E, and I download it into me in the quantum field. I'm not eating vitamin E. I can download the energy of vitamin E. So there's so many applications of scalar energy. Why? Because scalar energy is responsible for all phenomenon. If you look at the universe, it has to have some type of connection. It has to have some type of intelligence. Well, what's the point? Scalar energy is the intelligence of the universe.
Yeah.
Scalar energy gives us the intelligence of everything.
Okay. So food itself, the normal food we eat is kind of inferior or something. Do some foods have more scalar energy or something closer to it or something? Because some foods are clearly like alcohol or like some freaking potato chips. Those are clearly not scalar at all. But are some things like maybe a little bit of scalars in there or something like
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. So what do I do? In order to overcome that, I take photographs of food, lettuce, cauliflower.
Yeah.
Now,
Still got to eat though.
yes, you
You
do.
can't just eat pictures.
But this is my way I supplement my diet.
It's like a supplement.
I supplement my diet
Yeah.
through energy on the food. It's not a caloric intake, it's transmutation. It's a new science in which we can deliver the energy
Yeah.
of cauliflower, and I receive my additional nutritional support through energy, not by eating, not by protein shakes, through photographs
Yeah.
of food.
But that picture, it says cauliflower, and it has all these like kind of tie-dyed, trippy colors on it. Like what exactly is that a picture of?
This is a photograph of lettuce.
It's like the skin, like the fingerprint of it. Like
Yes,
how'd you get that?
under electron microscope. Yes,
Oh,
correct.
could you make? Do you think you can make like new foods? You can make these sort of like foods that don't exist on Earth, but they exist in heaven. You can like bring down some of this heaven stuff and eat it that you can't even get in the supermarket.
Uh, that depends what you mean by food from heaven.
I don't know what is. I don't know if I haven't. I've never been there, at least not for a while.
For instance, I have a program called Natural Foods in which I'm able to take photographs of food and just download the energy of food into a person. Now the key is the phytochemicals, the antioxidants of onion have a specific healing property, and we can heal, if you will, our quantum field through onion
Okay.
or through magnified photographs
Yeah.
of watermelon. So this is not a chemical process. This is a
Yeah.
new science that must be studied.
When did you first kind of because this is like most people aren't like you. You're doing this whole new thing, and you're it's kind of brave and beautiful in a way because a lot of people are just going down the normal society path and just following the rules and listening to their teachers and not challenging things and not taking these new roads. When did you if you think back on your life, like what kind of led to all of this, or
Yeah,
what were some of your influences or events, or I like how does someone become Tom Paladino? You're a very interesting and lovable person, but you definitely are breaking some of the rules,
yeah.
and I like that. But how did this come about?
I appreciate that. Well, I've always been a self starter. I've always been able to think on my own. I don't follow the crowd because so many times the crowd is being misled and they don't realize that they're being controlled. So, to answer your question, I've always done this on my own. And my research is groundbreaking. And there's the reason why nobody has this instrument because nobody spent the amount of time and effort to create this instrument. So, the point being, You've got to be able and willing to do this on your own. I've been at this throughout my entire life, and at the end of the day, it works.
What are some of your happiest memories of people you've helped, or just little landmarks along this journey that you're like, wow,
Yeah,
that was a beautiful memory, that was a beautiful person or experience, or can you share any of those?
yeah. Here's an example. This is a photograph
Yeah.
from an HIV/AIDS clinic, Om Prakash.
Hmm.
It's a clinic in Delhi, India. We've worked with over 5,000 people who are HIV positive at Om Prakash HIV/AIDS clinic in Delhi, India. Today, nobody has a viral load. Anybody who submitted their follow-up PCR test, there's no viral load.
Yeah.
So we've worked with 5,000 people in Delhi, India. Everybody feels better, and nobody, if they had a follow-up test, nobody is positive. Nobody has a viral load.
But like normal doctors and scientists are gonna hate that. They're like, "What? This guy's dangerous. He's telling people this and that." But you're saying it works. What do you say to these scientists and doctors?
Yes, yeah, it does work. It does work. And why does it work? This is an energy instrument. Energy never makes a mistake. My work is flawless as long as I work with energy that is going to follow the laws of science, and that's what I do. I follow the laws of science. Now, you're getting to the point. The meat and potatoes is this. If this is going to be introduced
Yeah.
to the world, then the world is going to have to realize that there is another paradigm, that scalar energy is free energy, and that scalar energy will change the world. Scalar energy is a new way of living. This is why J.P. Morgan did not want to finance the free energy work of Nikola Tesla with his Wardenclyffe Tower. So I have to go this alone. Free energy, some people want free energy, some people will be essentially, it will upset the economic order.
But we can all kind of even with you, of course, maybe we get a little extra boost because you got this machine and you have this training and all of this. But on our own, we can pray, we can meditate, we can have positive thoughts or gratitude exercises or whatever. And this will kind of get you somewhere there, right?
Yes. Yes, it will. And if there's anything that I can accomplish through my work is to encourage people to pray. Again, what's a prayer? It's consciousness. It's scalar energy. What's thinking? It's scalar energy. Okay. So what's the point? Pray, meditate, have positive thoughts. Your emotions are scalar waves. So this this realm of non-physical activity, scalar energy, it's so important. This is really what drives the universe. Prayer, consciousness, positive thinking, love, mercy. This is the overarching consideration as far as I'm concerned. My car, my computer, that's not as important as consciousness.
And your machine kind of links up these this physical world with that non-physical, non-space, non-time, eternal world of heaven or
Yes.
nirvana or
Yes.
whatever it is. It's a billion different
Yes.
things. So our physical environment does kind of matter
Yes.
because that physical machine in certain locations on Earth, you see these pyramids, I guess in Egypt and Mexico and in Indonesia and all these places, they're kind of tapping into it. So what can we do to kind of arrange our environment, say our house, our room, maybe the city we live in, whatever, to kind of improve our odds of getting more of this high quality energy?
Yeah. The key would be to live it. If you believe in consciousness, then live it, experience it, become a part of that thinking, part of that mindset. If there's anything I can achieve is to encourage people to live in this state of bliss, to welcome the divine. I realize not everybody has a scalar energy instrument. That's not the point here. The point is to introduce this concept to mankind. I'm only one researcher. That's the
Yeah.
drawback here, Michael. There's only so much time that I have. There's only so many resources that I have. And again, I have to introduce this from square one. I don't expect people to understand this. Okay. Again, this instrument that I have is custom built. Okay. Nobody in the world has duplicated my results. These instruments are custom built.
Well, this? It's a bit risky though, because if you're the only person with this, I mean, I don't want to get all dark and morbid, but one day we all do die, and so when you are in heaven or whatever, what are we gonna do? We don't have the Scalar light's gonna get shut down or something. No one's gonna be paying for the server fees or whatever, and you're not gonna be there. What's gonna happen here with the machine, and who's gonna take over?
Yeah. Somebody has to step up to the plate to take over.
Yeah,
You're right. You're right. Now, how many scalar energy researchers do you know, Michael? Any? Do you know any?
only you.
I don't. I don't know anybody who's devoted their life to this except Tesla and Hieronymus, and they're deceased.
Yeah, 3.
Do you know anybody else who has scalar energy instruments? I don't. I've never seen any instrument like mine on the internet. So what's the point? People have to now participate. There's only so much I can do.
Yeah.
It's coming. It's coming. It's I don't mean to be disparaging. I tell it like it is, but the world eventually will see the benefits, and once the world sees the benefits, then they'll embrace this.
They might change when they have to change. There might be something happening where they're like, okay, well, now we have no choice. We have to go with this scalar stuff. It might even be that.
Yeah. I think you're right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because I mean, it does require getting a little bit uncomfortable and jumping into a new waters, new territory. Even this podcast, I got this email, from your assistant about this, and I was like, okay, cool, yeah, it looks good. And then I started digging into him, like, what is going on with this guy? What is this? This guy's so weird. You're not. Of course, it's weird. It's different. I was like, well, how am I going to talk about it? Can I even have a conversation? Like, how do I get language for this stuff? Because it's sort of almost beyond language and beyond everything that we know on this world. So I didn't have the confidence to be able to how do I even have a conversation? How am I going to talk about this? I'm going to have these questions where I fear maybe you might get angry or something because I'm challenging it.
No, you asked good questions and you listened.
Yeah.
You listened. That's the important thing. You listen. Some people who listen, they'll pick it up quickly.
But I'm glad I did this because, by taking that sort of, I keep saying leap of faith, but that's the sort of a thing I like to believe is when you take these leaps of faith into the unknown, where rationality and reason and science and everything tells you don't go there. Yeah, sometimes it might be a little dangerous. You might be wrong, but sometimes when you jump into the unknown without enough reason, enough solid evidence to do so, you might just find something really good. You might find a new friend. You might find a new job opportunity. You might get healthier. Whatever. And so, yeah, I even doing this podcast with you, I felt like it's like a small little step into the unknown, and I'm glad I went there. Yeah, but yeah, this is a whole new kind of conversation I've never had before. So thank you for that. Thank you for this.
You're welcome. I'm going to instruct the audience, go to the website. There's 15 days of free sessions in which we're going to balance your chakras, provide nutrients, transmute, eliminate pathogens. It's all through your photograph. Once again, we only work through your photograph. Scalarlight.com. And I want you to try it also, Michael. I want you to sign up for the 15-day free session and then share your feedback. Tell me how you feel. That's why I give away free sessions.
All right. Thanks, Tom. Thanks for creating this instrument for the world and the service. And you got 15-day free sessions. Yeah, I don't agree with everything you've said, but I think it's beautiful ideas. Some parts I agree with, some things I don't. That's the way it's going to go. And same with the audience. But I mean, if anyone finished this whole episode and listened through it and wants to try the 15-day free trial, yeah, jump in there. Thank you for that.
All right, Michael, you're intrepid, so thanks for being open-minded.
I'm intrepid. Yeah, I'm a bit of a. I studied philosophy in university. I was very logical, and we were told don't trust emotion and religion is wrong and all these stuff like that. So, even though I grew up religious and all of that, it's sort of new to jump back into that those lands of faith and I don't know, God and stuff. I don't know if I want to be there or not, but I enjoyed this conversation and I enjoyed exploring it.
I enjoyed myself too. Thank you. It's thought provoking. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tom.